Oh, we are. It's the weekend. It's Mailbag. I am joined this week by Warren, Foxy, Matt, and John. On this week's show, we've got cup exits, tryhard, sponsors, donuts, free kicks, penalties, results changes, sliding doors, pints, politics, biscuits, the educational value of Mailbag, and more. Before we get into all that, if you're listening on YouTube, please do give us a like, subscribe, share the podcast, and leave a comment as well. If you can, that would be nice. And if you're listening on Patreon, thanks for your continued support. It is well appreciated. And I hope you're enjoying all the podcasts on there, save dipping into other podcast providers or whatever. Anyway, right, we'll start with this from Chris. Where's Dave Downey? Has he been banned from Mailbag for his crude discussion and his leather obsession? So, bit of intel on that. I reckon he's on a golfing holiday this weekend. I think he said he's gone to Portugal.
Is that the euphemism now?
Yeah, he's definitely gone to Berghain in Berlin. So he's going to spend 72 hours in a leather daddy lederhosen combo, I reckon. That's just my theory on it, but he says he's playing golf. Anyone got any other theories where he might be?
40. Well, there's a in-house human resources meeting with the bullying of me.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've had a few discussions behind the scenes, and he's temporarily on garden leave.
I'm glad
I can't say much more than that. It's
it's down to the lawyers. It's an ongoing case for him. We've got a very serious HR department here at the Blue Room, so
yeah.
You know what it is. You've gone through the right channels, though. You know, you've done it the right way.
Always go through the right channels. Matt will back me up on that.
John, what was your theory?
He's on the 14A.
He definitely is on the 14A.
I figured he'd just be busy with work with his day job, given it's Ryder Cup weekend. But that's the boring theory.
No, ironically, he's bailed for a golfing weekend on the Ryder Cup weekend. Right, we'll get into the questions now and the hot topic. As soon as I asked this, I regretted it because it just brought back so many bad memories. But what was I expecting? So after Wednesday night, which was disappointing, which cup exit did you head in the most, John?
Oh, I'm going to go old school, and I'm going to say Wimbledon, 1987, when we lost 3-1, when we hadn't lost for 4 years outside of Wembley in the FA Cup, and I was we were used to winning everything then, so we were all really self-entitled and expecting to win, and then we lose at Plough Lane, not Wembley, Plough Lane, and I was fucking fuming. And since then, when Wimbledon all went tits up for them, I was quite happy because of that game. Not that I hold a grudge. No.
I mean, that was a horrible, horrible team, wasn't it? We supported them for one game only.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it was a vile team, though. Awful. Warren?
I've said many a time about one of my best ever, or probably the best ever away day I've had as an Evertonian was when we beat Chelsea on penalties that year, when the replay, I think there was 5,000-6,000 of us went down there, took over all the shed ends, and when Phil Neville buried it in. And I remember after that game because Chelsea were by far and away, if not the best team, they were the second best team in the country at the time. And I'm thinking, you know what, we've beaten them. Our name's on the cup. You know, when people say that your name's on the cup, it's destiny. And I just felt that was it. Yeah, it really was. And the celebrations in that day, just had the best day. And, Reading at home next round, we'll beat them, their championship. And then next thing, we'll be in the semis. I think we would have been then, or the quarters. No, we would have been the semis, yeah, because I think we had them in the quarters. And then Jermaine Beckford was late. And that ruined everything. He was late. He was stuck on the 62, wasn't he, trying to get to the ground. And I was so annoyed after that game. What was the point in doing all that at Stamford Bridge to lose to Reading?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that was my most infuriating one.
That was the one I was thinking of for the exact same reason, because it felt like, you know what, we've knocked out one of the best teams in the competition here. Reading at home. They said it was a Wednesday night, wasn't it? It was wasn't it, I think.
Was it that phase? I mean, they still might do it. I don't pay much attention anymore. But was it that year when they changed, the first year they changed, when quarterfinals were being played midweek? And you're off booking the coaches to Wembley at that point, because the semis obviously being at Wembley. And infuriating, absolutely infuriating.
And obviously Stoke got to the final that year as well. We would have had to have beat Man City in the next round. But even so, the fancy us against them then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt Mills, wasn't it, who scored the goal?
I just remember, what's the fella who he does punditry now for Sky, and he does like a lot of the EFL games. The Reading player,
Joby McAnuff.
Joby McAnuff, yeah.
He's I'll tell you what, he's one handsome man though, isn't he?
He is, but
he's got to be up there for Bond. The new Bond.
Tore us apart that night.
Yeah,
it was a shocker. Foxy,
I think kind of with most things in life, as you get older, you care a bit less. So a lot of the more recent cup knockouts, I've been less bothered by. I remember, if I take you back to the 90s, so 93, 94 season, a 13-year-old Foxy sat in his bedroom listening to Everton on the wireless. So we played Bolton away, got a 1-1 draw, and back at Goodison for a midweek game, evening game. And it was 2-2 and went to extra time, third round of the FA Cup, and we lost it. And generally at that point, we hadn't, from my living memory of actually knowing Everton, we hadn't really won anything. We'd been, was it 89 Cup final against Liverpool? We lost 3-2. So we hadn't done anything. And obviously we weren't on the year afterwards, but I was properly pissed off.
Yeah.
We're losing against Bolton as a 13-year-old. Something that hasn't really left me.
You still have what seems like a mindless grudge against Bolton.
Well, yeah. I mean, Barlow scored twice in that game, so it's quite an unusual game for many reasons.
Yeah.
And maybe for that, I haven't really forgotten it. But I do remember back in those days when I was younger, I used to get really quite upset about losing. But we don't know the meaning of losing. I've since kind of forgotten it, which is
we certainly did for a while.
That was the game where my dislike of Alan Stubbs came in.
Fair enough.
He scored in that game, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I remember the away leg. I was there.
Yeah.
I remember the game.
It was a bitterly cold night as well. Oh.
Didn't they beat Liverpool the season before?
Yeah.
In the cup? So we had that over them where we could take the piss and then they go and knock us out as well.
Yeah.
We just can't have anything, can we? We just cannot enjoy anything for too long.
To be fair though, Liverpool got knocked out in '94 by Bristol City, didn't he? Brian Tinian scored.
Yeah, now.
And then the following year, we went and beat Bristol City.
Yeah, I remember thinking over there, these can't knock us out like they were Bolton on us.
Yeah.
Bristol City had that purple kit, didn't they, with the green shorts?
Yeah, the absolute terrible, sponsored by Blackthorn cider.
Who was it? Who had Black Death vodka? It was Scunthorpe. Might have been Scunthorpe.
Anyway, one of them, wasn't it? Yeah.
I digress. Matt, what's your worst cup exit?
I'm going to bring some recency bias to this, and there's two that stick in my brain. One is the derby at Anfield when they were trying to lose the game. Klopp had spent the whole week whinging about fixture congestion and that, and he put out not even a second string team. It was a third string team, and we got knocked out by a lad who hadn't even done his GCSEs yet. But that day, we should have just walked out, me and Keith, before kickoff, because we had a great morning and that. Had a few pints. We were on the roof in the brick, standing over the edge and chanting. And then get to Anfield, get to our seats, and a bird flies in and dies at our feet. And Keith had to scoop it up in an empty nacho tray that someone had discarded and fling it out the turnstile. We should have just walked out there and then.
Yeah,
what a funeral!
And I've not been back since.
Like a Viking funeral.
The thing I remember about that game as well is the team you sort of came out, didn't it, as most of us were walking up to the game, and the atmosphere just sort of died a bit. It was like, oh fuck, this is going to be terrible, because we all kind of knew, didn't we? As soon as we saw that team, anyone else was right into these, we're going to batter them, but we were all a bit like, oh no, this is going to end badly.
It's awful. And the other one that sticks in my brain, which was suggested in a lot of the replies on Twitter, was the Onana penalty. Not just for the absolute, it wasn't even arrogance. It was just, he was looking for a TikTok clip, wasn't he? And in one moment, he seemed to derail our whole season. Yeah. I'd been told in the week leading up to that by people I know at the club at the time that the team spirit in the dressing room was through the roof. Everyone was all mucking together, pulling in the same direction. They'd had some issues early in the season with a couple of cliques developing. They'd have gone, and then all of a sudden, bam, that happens, and you just saw the entire mood of the squad fall off a cliff. And what was it? We went 3 months without winning a game or something stupid.
No,
Well, wasn't that off the back of 4 wins in a row as well? And that was
Yeah.
going to be our 5th win. So we were on a bit of a crest of a wave as well, weren't we?
Yeah. And it was. If you just look back at, which I periodically do look back at the still of that penalty just to do my own head in. It's the way he's standing is incredible. How you can pull that pose as you're hitting a penalty is beyond me. Just
We should have known by his name. Oh nah. You know, we should have just not having him. No.
Right, got some.
I've seen the Man United goalie as well.
Yeah, oh god, yeah, definitely. Got some in for this. The brilliantly named Ian O'Prey. Great name, that. So definitely Wigan 2013, though honourable mention to Shrewsbury in the FA Cup 10 years earlier.
Yeah, great shout.
Going so well in the league and generally thought we had a chance to cup that year. I'm going to say that was Everton's worst ever result because they got relegated out of the league that season and they were around bottom when they beat us. So don't think
managed by Kevin Ratcliffe as well.
Yeah, I was at Chester uni at that time and I saw him in Chester and I did a really awkward hello, don't beat us at the weekend kind of thing. Yeah, so
It's your fault.
Basically, yeah, pretty much. The equally brilliantly named Disco Bill, whose actual Twitter handle Dart Disco Bill, which is even better. Semi-final against Liverpool, Jelavic gave us the lead, then Diston got shit scared and cost us the only meaningful win we may ever get against those Knutes. Cowardly display from Moyes that day. It was awful, wasn't it? That was bad.
What was that substitution about? Fellaini and Kale? The big swap?
Yeah. He just got everything wrong again, didn't he?
Bringing on the ghost of Tim Kale.
Stu said getting beat 3-0 by Tranmere in the FA Cup early 2000. That was hideous. I had a lot of red mates and Tranmere mates just giving me so much shit about that. Oh,
can I? Right, I've got a theory, and Les, you probably best person to answer this. And I don't know if anyone else wants to chip in with this theory, but I think Tranmere are have got more of a their fans have got more of a soft spot for the Reds and hate us.
I don't find that.
Do you not think that? I think they'd love to be like, I know because we hardly play them other than pre-season friendlies and it's not really never competitive games. I think if that was if they ever gone through the leagues and they ended up in the Premier League and that was another Merseyside derby, I think they'd be a bit like matey with the Reds on match day.
But they'd be exchanging pennants with them, wouldn't they?
I don't know. Like, real Tranmere fans hate us both. If you're a Tranmere fan and you've got a soft spot for either, you're not doing it right, really.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm happy to be called out on that and told I'm wrong. It's a feeling I've got.
Yeah, in my experience, I've never felt that there's more ambivalence towards us in the main than them. But yeah, because if I did, I wouldn't have like the little soft spot that I've got for Tranmere because it's like ingrained in you.
Maybe for me that stems from like the fact Aldridge used to be the manager and a lot of ex-Reds have been involved with them, and I know a few Blues have as well. I know Dave Watson was there for a while as well, wasn't he? And a few ex-Everton players have gone there, but Stu Barlow, Paul Rideout to name two.
We'll come on to him later.
Yeah, I don't know. It was always that feeling with me. They were always like cop-heights on the sly. But I don't know. I'm happy to be wrong about that.
I've just said Graham Stewart meaning Gary Stevens. I don't know why.
Initials. Yeah, I think one thing that's done my head then is I didn't hate them enough when Aldridge was the manager. I don't know why.
And that was when they were going through like a good spell as well, weren't they? Like I think they almost got promoted. Yeah, I don't think Aldridge was the manager when they should have got promoted, but it was when they had the because I think after they beat us, didn't they have Liverpool the next round?
No, they had Southampton, then Liverpool.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Didn't they?
3-0 down. That was it. Yeah, I remember that well.
I know what you mean because that game against Liverpool, that was on telly on a Sunday afternoon, and it was like it was like hands across the Mersey at the ground.
Yeah.
It was the world's biggest circle jerk. I'm surprised it wasn't on like the Guinness Book of Records.
That day, I was doing my CBT because I had a Vespa scooter. So I was doing that in Ellesmere Port. And because I only had a 50cc bike, I couldn't go on the motorway. And I couldn't get home from Ellesmere Port because I didn't know the way without going on the motorway. So I was dragging around Ellesmere Port for about 2 hours trying to find a way out. It was pissing down. Oh, yeah. I probably would have sooner have been at home watching that game than what I was doing that day.
No, Ellesmere Port, stuck in the Ellesmere Port time loop is more preferable than watching. Honestly, it was like both sides. I mean, I know this didn't happen, but it was that much of a love fest that I've actually put a false memory in my own brain of them all singing "You'll Never Walk Alone" with scarves, all swapping scarves.
No, John, it was true. It happened.
Yeah.
Right, Tangled Up in Blue said Wigan 3-0 because I couldn't see how we weren't making the semi-finals and the performance was a shameful embarrassment. Yes, Stephen said Tranmere at home 2001, painful, but West Ham away when Adrian threw his gloves off, running up to score a pen with shite too. That was bad. Yeah, and then he went.
What a flex, though.
I mean, it was, wasn't it?
It had to be against us, but
it happened. And he had to go down to them afterwards, obviously.
Oh, he's got the most cop-eye face ever.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And along with that Kirk, as we've got now. And Liam Goodtimes, which I think should be his new name. Far too many to choose outright, but shout out to 65-year-old Ian Rush scoring for Newcastle in 98. Echo Dave said it will always be Wigan in 2013. And Yaj D goes a really life-affirming list to finish off this bit. Hard to pick one: Tranmere, Bradford, York, Port Vale, Wigan, Oldham, Millwall. I think I was actually at every single one of those matches.
Can I add one? Can I add one for my wife who isn't on Twitter but looks at my Twitter and wants to answer the question? West Ham away 1991 after the 4-4 and the 1-0.
Oh,
when
God,
we lost to a Stuart Slater-inspired second division West Ham.
That happened in the 80s as well, didn't it? The early 80s, second division West Ham knocked us out.
Yeah, when the semi-final in 1980.
Yeah.
When they beat us with that commentary on the Everton history video, the way Barry Davis, I think, says Frank Lampard. And that's why I've hated him and his son ever since, because of that commentary.
Danced around the corner flag, didn't he?
Yeah, if you heard it when he goes, that's just the way he says Lampard. He was like Lampard, like an American, and he's like, when I hear it. And so I had this real disdain for Lampard until he joined us.
Yeah, see, these grudges are what football is really all about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I've got tons of them.
Keeping on a bit of a cup theme, Stephen has asked, we'll never win the League Cup despite years of trying. What thing have you tried to do or come close to doing but never managed to? Foxy?
I never really came close to this, but like when you're at school, when you're playing sport like 3 times a week and you're like a whippet, trying to get back to the same weight that you were when you were like 18. I've tried a few times. I've never got close to it. I've given up now. I think generally if you can't do it, then what's the point?
Fair enough. And enjoy beer and wine too much as well.
Yeah,
there is that. Matt?
Enjoy malt whiskies. Every 6 months I'll try one and it still tastes like glue. One day it'll change, but I keep trying.
just keep plugging away, because when it clicks, it's definitely worth it.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
You'll get there.
John?
I've tried and I'm still failing to never convince myself that we'll win the League Cup. Every year, this is our year. We're going to win.
This was the one.
This is it. You know, we've got a whole new outlook. The other teams aren't as bothered by it anymore. You only get a place in the Disney Cup or whatever they call it now. And yeah, you know, Wolves away, not a problem. Play our best team. He's got to play his best team or at least something. Oh, no. I've got York City in my head. I've got Bradford in the late 80s. I've got Oxford. I've got Bristol Rovers. I've got Millwall in the 90s. You name it. I've got all that trauma of our defeats to Portsmouth. I've got Jerry Cranium printed on my brain because of how much I've tried to convince myself that we'll win it.
That Millwall one finished 4-2, didn't it?
Yeah. 2-0 up with about 20 minutes left.
Yeah, we flounced it 3-2.
Yeah.
So
also, well,
3-2.
We talk about refereeing decisions. That game saw the worst penalty I've ever seen given against Earl Barrett. And that was going to tie in later. What if my question gets asked that I asked earlier?
Oh, you'll be asking it later, don't worry.
Yeah. So just think of that game.
Right. Warren?
I am the king of going through a phase and saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to try that. And then maybe trying it once and not really seeing it out. So prior to the summer, I was definitely going to be the world's best DJ. I've downloaded the apps. Dargan's got me. Dargan's going to teach me how to do it. That's fell by the wayside since the summer and work started again. And then every year, I'm going to get Duolingo. I'm going to learn another language. It'd be great to learn another language. It'd be great to speak Spanish. be great to go abroad and actually speak the lingo with everyone else. Never do it. I just don't follow through with things, and I really should, because I think it's important to upskill yourself every so often and try something new and try something different. And I just don't stick with it. So I need to sort myself out.
We'll have to start calling you Beto if you're not following through, because he doesn't.
2 for me, golf and guitar. Move on to Toffee Nose question. Tangled Up in Blues, who's asked, style-wise, which former front shirt sponsor would you like on the current kit instead of Gamble? NEC for him. What a font. I'm assuming the newer NEC font, because I didn't quite like the old one. The new one looked good though. The sleek one we got like post 95. I can't see far past that myself, although Hafnia did look nice. But Danish Tin Meat Company, I feel like we'd be on that level now. I don't know though. John?
Sport Pacer. No, I'm joking. Do you know what? It's outside of NEC, it's probably our most prestigious sponsor, and probably 1-to-1. At that time, it wasn't, but now it's, at the time, there was the jokes that it sounds like a lesbian chat line, but, like a lesbian sex line, there was all that kind of talk, but it's morphed into T-Mobile, didn't it? And now it's part of EE now, isn't it? And, it was quite, we've gone from the Danker. I mean, I still don't even know what Danker is.
German photocopiers?
Yeah, but I mean, did anyone ever see one?
No, true.
The only time I ever saw a Danker, other than Everton, was on a jockey's blouse. I know.
Yes. Yeah, and then you kind of buzz a little bit, going, "Oh yeah, look, I know that." Yeah. The thing I liked about 1-to-1 was like the size of the sponsor and the way it was like. It was basically like a cereal packet had been stuck on the front of the
it was the half-assed method of it.
Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, amazing.
Actually,
they did take red out of the logo as well.
Yeah.
So contractually bound, unless you're Budweiser. Matt?
At this moment in time, I don't care, because I think anything would look crap on a Castore shirt. But if we could get back to Hummel plus Hafnia, perfect combination.
Combination for Kappa still. Please. Foxy?
I quite liked Kazoo, because it means small dick in Italian. Villa have got it now, and that's also fine. But it kind of suited us at the time.
I never knew that, but there we go.
It's missing an O, but it's pretty much there.
This will tie to Stu's question later. That's the beauty of Mailbag. Warren?
I think from an artistic point of view and a graphical point of view, Chang was the best we ever had, Chang was, NEC, because NEC's memories for me as a kid, but Chang with the elephants and the warm Chang at half time at Goodison. I mean, God, them days are forever gone now. I'm going to miss them forever. But yeah, do you know what? They always say, don't they, like about Guinness, you've got to go to Dublin to have a proper Guinness. And apparently, if you go to Thailand, Chang tastes unbelievable. But I could have had shot of Sambuca, shot of tequila, rum and coke, vodka and lemonade, beer. I could have had the lot in one night, but if I have one Chang and I'm hungover the next day and throwing up, the only thing you can taste is the Chang. That's it, because it just sits on your palate for about 3 days after you've had it. So still miss it. Great sponsor. A lot of good times in the Chang shirt as well. Good times. But yeah, I'd go for that.
People do say to experience Chang, you need to have visited Goodison. It was, that sponsor was more of a lifestyle choice than anything. Right, Jack. So, sort of, again, on a theme, being at Goodison and the new ground, Jacko's asked, how can donuts have 3 different prices and be so different? Not a few pence, actual pounds. I can't work it out. Don't think any of us can.
What's the 3 different prices? I know Goodison and I know the new ground. Obviously, there's different prices. What's the third one?
Have they got 2 prices at Goodison?
No, it's the cafe. You visit the cafe on non-match days and it's £5.50 rather than £6.50. Not that I've become obsessed with the Everton donuts and are now aware of the price structures everywhere and the actual cost of each donut and its individual, constituents.
Did you see the Premier League? They did the Fan Fest in my home from home, Kansas City. So they go to an American city to do like show all the games and everyone turns up. And Graham Stewart was there. He's been pictured and everything, Graham Stewart, the last couple of weeks because he's been doing all these ambassador things with Everton. And they were giving all the donuts out. They flew the donuts out over there for them to all try. They're giving them to all fans of different clubs. And the video they shows, every single one of them loved them. Said, I want more of that. Where's that? Where have we got to go for that? Got to go to the Hills Dickinson to get them. So whatever the price is, and I had one the other week, and they are sublime. I think they're amazing. I'd pay them whatever they charge.
See,
is it like
before
the League of
cafe, sorry, Les.
Sorry, Matt, go on.
Just before I heard about the cafe thing, I figured there was a very boring explanation for this because the first time people noticed was when it was like $3.50 at the women's game. The day after, it was $7.50. I figured it was just because they were going out of date. So it's just what they had left over from Hill Dickinson, and they went out of date on the Monday or something. So it's like, right, let's get them discounted to get them out. But if those are the permanent prices, obviously there's going to be weekends where the women's game is on the Saturday and then the men's game is on the Sunday or Monday. So will it be the other way around then? Will it be $7.50 at Goodison and then $3.50 at Hill Dickey? Probably not. But
I will see. That's a nice thought, though. But 3 different prices is wild, especially when you're talking like over a $5 at 2 of them for a donut. Michael, did they do the lemon ones at Hill Dickinson?
He did them at Goodison, didn't he, for the last at the London City Lionesses game? Because I remember someone in one of our groups said they got a lemon one that day.
Yeah.
Was it Paul Daly?
Yeah, I think it was. Or Matt. Matt went, didn't he? I'm interested to try the lemon one. I thought the blue one, the toffee one's incredible. Like I thought it'd be typical like match day food, not great, but it was outstanding.
It's diabetes in a box, but it's worth it.
I might give it a go, but I'll have to get Joe one and Jill want one, and I'm not sure I can spend the best part of 20 quid on 3 donuts.
Can you remortgage your house?
You should have one of them at the end of the bar, shouldn't you? Like payment plans.
Yeah. Clara. Get Kev Dalwell back to sorting.
Get a CCJ for a fucking donut habit. Ian, how's that? Hi guys, hope you're well. We're all good, thanks. If you could go back in time and change any Everton results, which one would it be? Matt, will come back to you on this.
God, take your pick. My first thought is the Palace game in the first Martinez season, but would that have even helped? Because Arsenal won about 10 games in a row, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it did
stall. I think we were like 5 points behind, weren't we?
Yeah, but I suppose like they might not have done that if we hadn't sort of given their sort of opening. The obvious one's Villarreal, isn't it, really? Like,
yeah,
if you get through there, God knows what might have happened if you got that money in the bank and, you know, into the group stage. Everything could have been different. Could have had even better times than what we had. But
we could have done. This kind of ties into your question, doesn't it, John? So I think I'm gonna bump yours up the list and ask after this one. What's yours for this, John?
Mine would be the result of the vote at the Village Hotel pub in 1892, where we voted to go to Goodison. That way, them fuckers wouldn't exist.
Warren.
I mean, there's too many. I know I think there's a question later on about sliding doors moments, isn't there?
It's coming up next.
Yeah, there's so many down the years where, and you know, Villarreal, as Matt said, is the obvious one. But there's so many down the years where you just go, if that had happened, maybe this would have happened. I'm going to go something a little bit different. I'm going to go in 95, 96 season and any one of the games that we drew. Because I think, I might be wrong, and I'm sure you'll correct me, some of you there. I think if we'd have got 2 more points that season, we would have qualified ahead of Arsenal for Europe. And I think if we'd have got European football that next season, a bit more investments, Big Joe's on a bit of a roll then, could have brought in a few more players.
Yeah.
And I think we had a real chance of building a really, really good squad. Because Gary Speed came in, didn't he, later on that summer. Kinselskis was still at that time fantastic for us. Big Dunk was fit and healthy, playing well. Probably could have added another striker or 2 around him.
You would have got
Yeah, and we had the makings of a really good quality team, and then obviously we didn't get the investment we needed. No European football. Big Joe leaves, and that set us on a bit of a downward spiral towards the end of the 90s, didn't it? So
Yeah,
maybe not the most obvious ones, but I think any game in that season, if we'd have just won, am I right, Les? If we'd have got one more game,
One point.
Yeah,
or 1 point, yeah.
1 point.
If we did any game that we drew that season, if we'd have won, that's what I would have done.
We threw it. Sorry, Warren.
I was just going to say, I think Big Joe probably would have stayed then, wouldn't he? Because he would have got the money that he wanted. So
yeah, we threw it away that season against Wimbledon, didn't we? We were 2-1 up with about 15, 20 minutes left and got beat 4-2 when Andy Clark
always
and
Wimbledon.
Not that I'm holding a grudge. But we got torn apart by Andy Clark and Marcus Gale, and that was we were in that middle of that form. We were just about, I think we were just beating Blackburn or Chef Wed, one of those games where we crashed them, and then we go and lose that in April.
Yeah.
Can I just jump in there? I just looked at the Wikipedia page there. I've just learned something I never knew. We did qualify for the UEFA Cup that season on fair play.
Yeah.
But it got taken away because English teams had fielded understrength sides in the 95 Intertoto Cup.
Yeah.
One of those sides was Wimbledon.
Yeah, that was it was Wimbledon and Spurs, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I think they then changed the rule to make that not a rule afterwards as well.
Yeah, the season after.
So we were the only team to get affected by that because they then took away the requirement.
Of course. We are a social experiment, aren't we?
We are unlucky, Alf.
Oh, bugger.
Oh, bugger.
I mean, people think we're being dramatic when we say stuff like that, but you just cannot make this up. It's like, it's outrageous.
Here comes Everton.
Yeah.
Actually,
Lovely Wimbledon.
Foxy, what's yours?
Yeah, so I'm going to go back to the 128th FA Cup final, 30th of May 2009. We win that. We win that, and everything's different, right? So, cup under Moyes, I mean, fantastic. Kick on after that. We've won a cup, which should be tremendous. Don't have the 30-year song. The world would be a different place. Trump wouldn't be president. Completely different dynamics everywhere.
It would go full Back to the Future.
Yeah. It'd be massive. The butterfly effect would be huge on that.
And who'd you blame for that, Foxy?
Who'd I blame for that?
One person.
Wimbledon.
Is it Vinnie Jones, John?
No. Tim Howard.
Yeah. All day.
I'd like to hear Dave then. Dave's back on.
Does Dave hate Tim Howard as well?
Yeah.
Don't even mention his name.
He never ever mentions it.
I don't hate Tim Howard, but sometimes he had proper poppers on this, didn't he, for long shots?
Yeah.
You know, he was just watching that Lampard shot as it breezed past him, like with a gentle waft of the winds, and he's just pouring at it gently, like you would with, stroking a puppy or something.
Like a lazy cat.
Do you know what, Foxy? Just to add to that as well, your answer, Lescott probably doesn't leave, and we don't suffer that defeat against Arsenal on the opening day the next season.
Yeah,
but
still
we've got the, see, we're asking the wrong questions here. These are our hair shirts. This is what it is. This is why we are the chosen ones. One day we will go to the footballing heaven because we've put ourselves in that hair shirt, wearing those flea-ridden undergarments just to, the footballing equivalent.
My one, before we move on, a bit earlier than that, the 85 Cup final, I think, because that team would have won. Not the treble, but probably the second best treble you could do at the time. And that just ended that season on a downer. And then that sort of carried on a little bit into next season. But we won't talk about that season. But I think that one for me, because I think that team deserved it, and it would have been the best treble until United in '98. So that one as well. And United was shit that season as well. Should never got beat by them. Right, John, it's your question.
In all the time you supported Everton, what is the one sliding door moment for you where you think everything could have been different? So it can only be in your lifetime. It can't be like going back saying, like I've just said earlier about the Village Hotel and changing that vote. It's got to be in your lifetime.
Do you think if we'd have got the King's Dock, we would have been the Man City instead of Man City?
viable.
That's the thing I was thinking of when I saw this question earlier. If we'd have got that ground when we were supposed to have got that ground, right on the dock or right on in the centre of the town, would we have been them? Because they were looking. The rumor is, isn't it, that they were looking for a club with a stadium where they could develop things and whatever, and they turned to Everton and we didn't have the ground, so then they looked across the East Lancs and saw City, and that was their opportunity. How true that is, I don't know.
I look at this quite optimistically now, though, because I don't think the ground there will be as good as the one we've got now.
No,
because like stadium designs and builds back then when we're nowhere near as good already. So I think
it looked like a JC.
Yeah, it could have done, but on the waterfront. So I think we could come out of this better in the long run, just provided we're not terminally shit like we have been with a nice new ground though this time. I do look at that quite optimistically now, thinking I think we're better where we are.
I mean, that's another one that gets said, and it's a bit of an obvious one to say. But that was the first thing, John, that comes to my mind when I saw this question.
Yeah. But also as well, we wouldn't have had that the Liverpool eye if we'd have got that ground. That lovely wheel wouldn't be there, would it?
So it's as you said, it is a positive then.
Yeah,
it's a nice feature of the waterfront.
Yeah,
that's our flippant, but the King's Dock and the convention centre, it is the best convention centre in the country now. It's massive for the city.
Yeah.
So it would be a bit of a shame if we didn't have that. I mean, that's why the Bastards are coming back this weekend for the conference again.
Yeah.
It's the only one other than Glasgow that could actually hold it because it's that big.
The Echo Arena's crap though, isn't it? If we're being honest.
Yeah, it's pretty crap.
But I think that's more due to the clientele more than the actual venue.
Everton Tigers.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's what the Nelson Dock's meant to be, isn't it? So I can't see how that's going to happen.
If you go to the Blue Room, efc.co.uk and check out the articles, there's a great one from John Wharton on the Nelson Dock. Read all about it there. Matt, sliding doors.
We kind of covered a lot of this ground, haven't we? Villarreal's one. I mean, yeah, all the stadium stuff off the pitch. Like, there have been moments where we've avoided absolute disaster. You know, like all the tales of Ken Wright meeting with fellas in bed sits and that. But 777. I never believed we were actually ever involved properly with 777.
I'm with you on this, Matt. I think he was stringing them along.
Yeah, I think he definitely was. Like, he didn't get as much access to money as he did by not being a bit of a bastard. And I think he saw them coming.
Yeah.
But hopefully, in a positive way, the Freakins takeover can be the sliding doors moment where things do begin to change and we sort of professionalise as a football club, as it were. And
I like that.
Take that next step into being a proper, serious outfit. I mean, obviously, we all hate them, but what the Boston Yanks have done for them lot, like, they whinge about them constantly, but everything off the pitch is just come on leaps and bounds, hasn't it, since they took them over. So hopefully we can get a bit of that.
Defo, Moyes out. Foxy.
A little known Uzbekistani lad back in 2007 with his mate who was British Iranian bought into Arsenal. It never worked out for them at Arsenal. And many years later, he managed to free himself from the clutches of the Arsenal peril. So if they decided in 2007 to invest in Everton with the plentiful cash that they had under Moyes, how different that would have been. Moyes wouldn't have allowed the wastage that we had in Mashiri years. He would have been a lot tighter in what we did. Him with that level of cash back then would have been quite exciting. And that was back in the days you could spend what you wanted before PSR. Yeah. Just have cash, spend cash, spend cash, spend cash.
That'd
been a fun time.
Train just in time, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I agree with that, actually. I think you're right there.
Yeah, that is a great show. On to football matters now from the Bridewell. What's the quickest free kick you've ever taken? Never taken one, I don't think.
That's a really hard question.
What's the quickest free kick you've seen that's maybe worked? I don't know. It's a tough one to answer this, isn't it?
Everton,
probably Villa against us.
96. Remember when we beat Leicester 1-0 away? And Casey Keller came out, like did something outside the area and tried to hold up play, and Barnby chipped it over him, and Hinchcliffe chipped it over him, and Barnby put it in.
Oh yeah, that's a shout. Love that one then.
I remember.
On to the Denby. Have you ever seen a worse penalty than Onana's against Bournemouth? Probably is one against Fulham, as Chris pointed out. And Chris said Joey Yobo took one against Thailand under 23s in a friendly 20 years ago, and it was utterly disgraceful. I don't remember that at all, but Chris will take your word for it because, yeah, Joey Yobo and penalties, I'm not really seeing it. I can't think of a worse penalty than Onana's for reasons discussed before.
Danny Welbeck's this season was pretty bad.
Did anybody have back in the day?
Yeah.
Did anybody have back in the day Nick Hancock's Football Nightmares on VHS? Yeah. And they obviously it's all the goals and bloopers and everything. And I remember there was a game and the fella steps up to take a pen, he trips over and his knee hits the ball and he just scuffs, and I think he broke his ankle as well or something.
His legs
Nick Hancock's doing the narrating, and he going, stepping up now is Peter Devine, and then they showed the penalty and he goes, that name again, Peter Devine, just in case you forgot it, Peter Devine. And I'm sure if you Google it, you'll be able to see Peter Devine. I'm going to do it now, actually. Just
going on YouTube right now.
That was his name, Peter Devine.
Yeah, do you know what it was like? Do you remember that own goal for Sunderland in the cup against us?
Oh, David Vaughan.
Where he sort of like his feet are all over the shop. He's like Bambi. It was like that, but from the penalty spot.
His name, I can confirm, was Peter Devine, the worst penalty. If you buy your phone, anyone listening, or however if you've got a tablet or whatever next to you, just Google Peter Devine penalty. For Lancaster City against Whitley Bay in 1991, apparently. It's hilarious.
If you watch it on YouTube, we'll put it up as a card. It should be
It's brilliant.
It's about there. Foxy?
Yeah, I struggled to think of a worse penalty than Onana for one that I've seen, but I did then look at penalty stats for Everton. So the best penalty takers, we could probably go Baines and Unsworth, but the worst penalty taker with a ratio of 3 from 7, who do you reckon that is? Last 20 years.
Ferguson?
Duncan Ferguson.
Oh, no, 20 years. Last 20 years.
Last 20 years.
Morales?
Yeah, I was going to say Morales.
Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney, 3 from 7. So he's our worst, whereas Baines and Unsworth are pretty similar. But
I think Rooney taken that many for us, to be honest.
Yeah. I do remember him taking them back in the day, and he was.
Did he miss one at Brighton?
Awful.
Or did he score the equaliser? I can't remember.
He missed one against Chelsea in 2002 in the cup, didn't he? When we got beat 4-1.
Oh yeah.
It's like having Liam on. It's amazing.
He had a couple of them where the keeper saved it and he knocked it in.
Yeah.
So,
right. Okay. Yeah.
So his actual, I definitely remember that one. I remember him missing another one as well when he came back because I was cursing him, calling him shredded retard. But
Matt.
So my headphones are over here. Why then?
Have we done yours? I can't keep up tonight. I'm not even drinking.
I think John? It's a Belber.
Yeah, you did. Sorry, yeah. John?
Yeah. Pat Nevin, 1984-85 season for Chelsea against Man City on a Friday night game. Oh, it's absolutely pathetic. Gordon Strachan for Everton, for Man United against Everton in 84-85 as well. Kevin Keane for West Ham in 88-89. There's all the and I can't remember. So I think it may have been Simon Barker against West QPR in the same season, when just the tamest penalties you've ever seen. Looked like they were written by 4-year-olds. But Pat Nevins is the one that's the daddy of all bad pens.
Apart from Peter Devine.
But that's bad. But that's bad luck, isn't it? Not bad technique.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, he does actually get a clean strike on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, but Pat Nevins is just trying to be. He's a prototype banana.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah. Stinker. Good times, Liam. Warren, I'll come to you on this one. Which Everton manager would you name your dog after?
Just because it sounds good for a dog's name as well. Walter the dog.
Foxy?
Rafa. No, I wouldn't. Sorry. I did.
That's really
I
tickled me, that.
I had a cat called Dixie, if that's close enough.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
But I think
sorry.
Dyche is quite a good dog's name.
What's Sean? Sean's quite a good dog's name.
Dyche. Yeah, be all right.
Matt?
I don't know, I'm struggling here because I'm of the opinion that dogs' names should be single syllable. Because apparently that's the best way for them to learn, especially collies, which is the only dog I'd ever have. And one syllable Everton managers, not many really, is there? Like Joe, Lee.
Joe's a solid name for a dog.
Can't call a dog Joe, though, can you really?
My immediate thought was the cat.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good name for a dog.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I just wouldn't name a dog after an Everton manager. Like, just
Shout out to Shanty Bob if you're listening, by the way. John?
I'm going to go in the EastEnders vein, and instead of Wellard, I'm going to go with Lampard. That's my choice.
Right, we're on to the learning part of the show now. So, Stu has asked, which mailbag have you learnt the most from? Now, he's going back some time here. Mine would be a couple of years ago when Kate gave a brief history of trainer sales and trends in Liverpool back in the day. I mean, that is some mailbag knowledge. I imagine I would probably host it, and I can't remember because I have a terrible memory. But yeah, anyone?
It's usually anyone with Dave on it. He usually learns some obscure knowledge about something very troubling.
I agree. I was going to say Dave, but just like kids, make sure you put your private browser on first. That's all.
Yeah, it's solid life advice, definitely. What?
I mean, we are a collection of well-knowledged and well-thought-out, rounded individuals, and there's probably been so many fascinating, intellectual, intelligent conversation a lot of the time. And like you, I just can't remember any of it. But I mean, Matt, our very own Matt Flusk, I mean, when Maggie used to send in political soapbox questions, I'd learn something all the time off Matt. And I learned something off Matt every single day of my existence. So I think I'd have to throw the voice to our Matt here and to give us an answer or to teach us something.
You go to every time.
Yeah,
definitely phone a friend on Millionaire. A lot.
I remember when COVID first broke, and someone put in the group, Matt, are we all going to die? And Matt just responded with a brilliantly thought out, scientific, like, look, it's going to last a long time. It'll last a while, but you'll be okay. They're going to eventually come up with something to combat this. Just stay safe, wear a mask, you'll be sound. And lo and behold, look what happened.
That question was definitely Mike, wasn't it?
That was Michael, yeah.
Michael,
it was early on. It was in like the January. And he was like, Matt, are we all screwed? And I was like, no, it's fine. But like, I didn't want to worry him. But quietly, I was like, yeah, this is the big pandemic that they've been predicting for the past 20 years.
Yeah. See, Matt was on board with that straight away. John?
Didn't want to worry anyone.
Well, I've got to make a confession. I'm only new to the Blue Room and podcast because I'm the prototype Everton Dar, but I haven't got kids. So I'm not sure if that works. But so I've only been on it a few months. So I'm watching a few months, so I haven't really got one yet. I'd just say every time I'm on with different people, I learn something new.
See, that's what it's all about. That's what all about, Mail.
I'm just reading that from ChatGPT. They gave me a diplomatic answer.
Say something nice on a podcast.
Yeah.
Foxy, your question?
Yeah, can you be the UK Prime Minister and a season ticket holder in the South Stand? Which should take priority? Attending a G7 summit or Monday Night Football versus West Ham? So this obviously comes from Andy Burnham on the radio stuff this week. And my first reaction was, can he still go to the game? Does he need like security detail to stand in the South Stand? I think we've probably all seen like Andy at the game in the Gladys or whatever. That's my first kind of thought and question. Does it affect his Everton attendance? So what do you reckon? Could he do both?
I mean, it affects Starmers, but he's a gobshite, so he needs a security detail.
But he goes in the corporate stuff, doesn't he?
Has it, so...
Would he still be able to go in the South Stand, do you reckon?
Yeah.
I reckon he would. I don't think he
Imagine
would.
people trying to get in with thousands of Evertonians around him. Absolute murder.
Yeah, and let's face it, we're all lurching more to the right. So, and I'm sure Evertonians are kind of not immune to that right-wing flag shagging kind of thing. So,
don't talk politics on Mailbag. Football and politics don't mix.
I'm just saying, this is for me a safety
I wasn't going to go there, but what I'm going.
I'm doing this
just add before it goes in the comments.
Yeah, I'm just, if to anyone who thinks I'm being...
I used to like listening to you lads until you started talking politics.
Sorry.
I'm nearly doing a risk assessment for Andy here. And so I would say it would be unsafe for Andy and for other fans. So I think he'd have to do a Steve Rotherham, and because we can't call him Bobby Chariot anymore because he's had his haircut.
I'll do Steve Rotherham get his haircut.
Yeah. And did anyone see when he got a cut? He got a cut for free.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, do you know what? It was a lovely awareness campaign, like haircuts for homeless. But there's just something about that fella's face that's just.
Yeah. He looks like he's always surprised by his own existence. Remember the double take brothers from Harry Enfield? He's got that. Ooh,
I'm just not seeing past Bobby Chariot now, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't look like him anymore. He looks like a 1980s snooker player now. Just a generic one, not anyone in particular.
Hey, we've got 2 questions left, so Warren will get these in before you got to jump.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chris, what's the most you paid for a pint here and abroad? Was it worth it? £9, Paris. Yes, I was in Paris, so it was worth it. Warren?
I paid, which I thought was disgusting a few months back, £7.10 for a Guinness here, and then abroad. Anyone who's ever been to Ibiza, you pay a fortune for a pint over there. When you're in the clubs and whatever. So yeah, I think that was about €24. I think I paid.
That always knocks me sick, and I don't know how people do it. How could you spend €24 on a beer?
I know. I think it was something like that. I think I got it without realising. It's one of them. You've done it, and it's you've got to pay for it there and then. So
trouble at the water, £30. So, you're knackered. John.
I accidentally gave a £50 note and thought it was a tenner and told the barmaid to keep the change. So I paid, and it wasn't until I opened my wallet later on that night I realised it was a £50 note that I gave, not that it was a tenner.
Heavy.
I hadn't given.
Did you swap around with £50 notes? Blimey.
No, they were fake, but that's not the point. No, it was a real one. I'd got money out the bank, like the actual bank, and they gave me it in 50s for some reason, and I took it out, and what I thought was about £7 for a pint, and it turned out to be 50. And I didn't notice it till like the day after, and then I realised.
She must have been ducking away from you all night there. Every time you came to the bar, she'd have been the other end.
We left after that.
Oh,
yeah. She must have just thought I was like flash trying it on, maybe trying, but no, I wasn't. I was just mistaken.
Matt?
In London, I paid, I think, £8.50 for a pint of Daya. That was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
I was in Copenhagen in 2016, and I was buying double rum and ginger beers on my card, not realising that it was charging me conversion costs every time I did it. So that was like £11 a drink in the end. But I regularly spend ridiculous amounts on obscure craft beer at Dead Crafty on Dale Street. They had this mad blue shit from Asvex, and it was like, it was like for a 2/3, it was like a tenner, but it was worth it. It was unreal. It was thick, like a smoothie, but alcoholic. But they've got some really good stuff. But
like drinking an oyster.
But it's expensive because they get mad craft beers from like American and stuff that they're the only ones in the country who have it. So it's worth the price if you're in.
Sounds good. Warren, see you later, mate. Yeah, he's gone. Look at that. Yeah, I'll try that. Warren's leaving Mailbag to go on Radio Merseyside now because he's big time.
He's been promoted.
That's what that is.
Is it a promotion though?
True. I hope he goes on to say, I've just left Mailbag to come on here.
That comedian Sean Styles is on Merseyside, so it's not that much of a promotion, is it? I mean, I use the word comedian very, very loosely there.
I was on with him one morning. He seems all right.
I seen him do the Everton players thing, and he was insulting the wrong type of people.
All right, fair enough then.
and he didn't come across well from it. Maybe it was a one-off.
Yeah. Well, he was on the radio when I was speaking to him, so he can't do that kind of caper on the radio.
No, he can't.
I'll take your word for it then, John.
But I don't hold a grudge.
Foxy?
Wimbledon, pardon? What? Yes, so most for a pint. I think for a pint, I was in Abu Dhabi, 15 quid. And then like a G&T in Qatar, 20 quid. But it was fine because it's some expenses, didn't pay for it really.
Some great name dropping there, and then you
yeah,
singing as well. I'm quite a big deal too. And finally, from Chris, I think Chris has been on the expensive ale asking this question. Sergio Busquets announced his retirement today. But what we really all want to know is what are Busquets' favourite biscuits? He's thinking of chocolate BN. Put a picture of it on the tweet with like a little winking BN biscuit, and I can't argue with that. So, anyone want to just finish off with what's your favourite biscuit?
What's my favourite or Sergio Busquets?
Do both.
Sergio Busquets' favourite biscuits will be will probably be those broken ones you get, when you just get a big bag of, in the 80s, you just get a big bag of broken biscuits.
Been to Cadbury's, got all the broken biscuits. Yeah.
No. This was the 80s, lads, in Liverpool. We went on the Whittle. It was bag of the cheapest biscuits you can have. The ones that make digestives look tasty.
See, that was the good thing. We had the Cadbury's factory down the road.
Yeah.
It was great.
In Morton.
Yeah.
So my favourite biscuit, those Foxes Crunch, for the chocolate covered cookies.
Good shout. Lovely shout. Yeah. Foxy, you going to agree?
I've got to go Foxes. Like, keep it in the family. It's all hereditary money. Just keep it
clearly. Busquets. Busquets biscuits.
But he likes the chocolate bourbon.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Sergio Busquets bourbon biscuits.
Yeah.
To the tune of Howard Kendall's Blue and White Army.
Yeah, I think it probably depends on how much money he's willing to spend, isn't it? Sergio Busquets. Like, Busquets' favourite biscuits might be broken biscuits, but then most of the time he probably have a bourbon biscuit. But if he's feeling a bit boosty, he might have a breakaway.
Oh, I like that.
Personally, if you can give it as a biscuit, I would always go for a fig roll, because they're like fucking Lembas bread. Then you just need one, and you're full for the day.
Yeah. They were gorgeous, weren't they?
Perfect thing to take with you on a long trip. Just nibble at them all day.
As long as the long trip doesn't take too long, because they go stale dead quick.
How can you tell? They taste stale well to the packet, don't they? Really? Or a Garibaldi. Love a Garibaldi with a cup of tea.
Yeah, I'm going to go pink wafers for Busquets and chocolate knobs for me.
Oh,
there you go. And that finishes off another week of Mailbag. Thanks to Warren, big time Warren. Had a good time. Good times later with big time Warren.
What did Warren say he wanted to be?
What's that?
What did Warren say he wanted to be? A DJ?
When he's older.
Oh, yeah.
And where's he gone?
There you go.
And he's lied. So he's lied to us on this podcast today by saying
he's
not one. He's actually, this is part of his little plan.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, you were joking there before, Les, but Liam is actually in my phone as Liam, good times.
Is he? It's a good name for him.
What's Dave down there as?
Buffy Downey. Which comes from a mad meme that Keith made about 12 months ago. Everyone else is name.
We'll leave it there before we dig into any more nicknames, because we don't want to go down that route. Thanks to DJ Doyle, who's not here anymore. Thanks to Fox, thanks to Matt, thanks to John, thanks to everyone who sent questions in. As I say all the time, the show would be nothing without you, and we do appreciate all the questions because they're amazing and you're all dead weird. That's been it for this week's Mailbag. Have a brilliant weekend. Up the toffees, and we'll catch you next time.